to drugs, really. And so needless to say, I stayed numb after that. I would do anything I could get my hands on, and I loved it because I didn't have to deal with that pain, and it was just, you know, the ease and comfort. So I stayed that way for a long time, and I found a new drug that I hadn't tried, and I was doing this drug, and I was on it. Like, it had me. At first it was fun, and it got to where it wasn't fun anymore. It was a necessity. Like, there's a fine line there between fun and not fun, and I've been trying to pinpoint it where that line where it wasn't fun anymore, but I can't pinpoint it. So I was smoking this drug, and my sister, she was doing it. She loved it. So me and my sister grew really close, because my brother was gone, so it was me and her. She drove, so she would take me to do things that, in places, you know, that I couldn't get, and but I'd have to do something for her in order to do whatever it was that I was going to do. So I'm not going to school anymore. I'm running around doing everything, stealing everything that wasn't tied down. Just, I don't know, tearing through people's lives, for real. Hurting everybody. And I didn't see it. I only thought I was hurting myself. And I don't know, I was stormy, I was cloudy, I didn't see it. But so I got into this really bad, and I knew the guy that made it, and he would give us money, and we would take off, and we would go get these boxes for these guys from these pharmacies, and it was alright at first, but then they started wanting our IDs. And I didn't know why, but I kept giving it. And we would do it, and you know, I was supposed to be able to get so many at a time or whatever. And we would go to Carrollton, and we would start at Walmart. We'd get one at Walmart, go to Kroger, get Kroger, then we'd go downtown and get Rite Aid, and we would have all kinds. And we would go back and we would trade it. And we would trade for the dope, and we'd get a lot of it. And we'd do it really fast, and then think of where we could get some more, or how we could get some more. So then there I went back out on the streets trying to steal and rob some more to get some more. And so while all this is going on, my dad's real bad sick. He's just real bad abdominal and back pain, lower back and abdominal, and I don't know, me and Dad were really close. We did everything together. He liked fishing and things of that nature, four-wheel, anything that to do with outdoors, outside. And we always did these things, and we grew really close too in this period. He got sick, and he was really bad sick, and it hurt for me to watch him go through the pain that he was going through, and I didn't know how to deal with it, so I was still getting high. I was around physically, but I wasn't there emotionally, and I just felt like I could pick him up and everything, you know, shake him and everything would be all right. But it don't work like that. And so he was going to hospital and going to everywhere trying to figure this out. couldn't figure it out. He was getting pain pills and I was stealing them, knowing he needed them, and seeing him that bad in pain, I was stealing his medicine so I could get high. He was bad sick for like a year, and this one day he woke up and he was alright. I don't know what it was, and never did figure it out. But he was fine. He did good for about a year, I believe. And one morning he woke up and it hit him again, and it was bad. And this time, we were talking, and he told me that this time it was worse. It was worse than the first time. I mean, I would see him crawling on his back, on the ground, just scooting through the house and stuff like that for forever. And I would take my hands and just dig and cringe in his lower back hard as I could, and that felt good to him. So I went on and I kept doing it, and it just never got better. And one morning I had passed out the night before upstairs, and I had woke up, and by the time I was waking up, I heard the back door. Well, I heard my dad say, "Patty, I can't live like this." And I heard the door slam, and I didn't know what was going on. My mother was crying. I get up out of bed and I go downstairs. She's just crying. I don't know what's going on. My dad's truck starts up and it takes off up the street. So I know how bad a pain he was in, so I ran to the front door and I opened it up, and he had done made it up the street a little ways, and he turned around, and I'll never forget that look on his face when he was coming back by the house. And he had that old truck pinned to the floor, grabbing gears, and I just looked at him, and I threw my hands up, and he didn't stop. He just kept going. I was really scared. My uncle had lived next door, so I went next door and I told my uncle about what was going on. So we get in his truck and we take off, and we're looking for him. We can't find him. So we come up here to Lower Fort Thomas Lake, figured maybe he came up here. I don't know. We knew he was pretty close to suicide. He had talked about it before. I snatched a shotgun from him. So we pretty much had a good idea. We came up here, we didn't find him, so we was going back home, and we have a farm down in New Liberty, and we were going back by, so we stopped, and there's a creek you have to go across to get up there. And there was water in the creek, but on the other side of the creek, there wasn't no water, so we didn't think he was up there. My uncle, I looked at him and I said, "What are we going to do?" And he said, "Well, I don't know, let's go ahead and walk up here, make sure." So we're walking up the hill, and you can't really see nothing until you get to the very top of the hill and a little bit more down this road, or down the dirt road, before you can kind of look up and see the barn. And we got up there and where you could see, and I saw the truck. We saw the truck sitting in the barn, and we just saw the back end of it sticking out. So as we're getting closer, I'm getting scared, and he's getting scared, and we're just looking at each other. And he said, "I hope he." Well, he used to call my dad Easy, and I was looking at my uncle, and he said, "I hope Easy didn't do nothing stupid." And about that time, we saw the door swung open on the truck, and my dad was there hanging from the bottom tier. I didn't know what to do. I fell to the ground crying hysterically. I don't know. I can't explain the feeling that I got from seeing that. that really hurt me. Me and my dad was very close, and so we called the ambulance, and they came, and I don't know, that hurt me really bad. Like I said, that we had grew really close after my brother, and I really didn't know what to do. Now I don't have my father, I don't have my brother. Me and my sister and my mom, she's going through it. She don't know what to do. And we done lost, both of them. Here I am strung out on dope, acting stupid, running around stealing. She's worried about me, I'm going to die. And it was rough. So I'm still strung out on this dope, and I don't know, I got really bad into it, worse than I ever. And I found a girl, and we got together, whatever, and she wanted me to come down to Carrollton and stay with her, but I was too caught up in addiction and what I was doing. But I was sitting at my house one day, and I started hearing voices, and I don't know who the voice was or whatever, but they were saying some crazy things and had my mind stared, and I was talking out of my head. My mom was downstairs, so I go downstairs and I tell my mom there's people after me, there's people outside, and they're coming for me, they're trying to kill me. I don't know what to do, I can't hide. Everywhere I go, they see me, they're still talking to me, I can hear them. And I was asking her, can you hear them? I know you're in it with them, And she was telling me I'm crazy. I just knew somebody was after me. So a little while after that, I was still talking to this girl, and she finally talked me into coming down there and staying with her. So I go to Carrollton, and I'm still hearing these voices for days. And like I said, I'm down there, and I'm telling her everything I'm hearing, and she's telling me I'm crazy. And I don't know. She brought me off of that, but I started drinking every day, heavy. We drank and drank and drank. Finally, we moved. We went downtown, and she went back to her mother's house, and I started staying with a friend down there. And he was really good to me. He got a job right down the street from where he lived, and he was doing pretty good. So I was asking him, which I was living with him, so he was talking to his boss. He got me a job. So I'm working down at DRC. I'm still drinking every day, and I don't know. I'm drinking a lot. I'm getting paid. Like my first paycheck, I didn't have enough to do anything. I wanted to get my own place, so I didn't have to deal with him and the things that he was doing and going through. And so I got the next check, and I gave it to my girlfriend, and I said, go find us a place. And she did, and we got our own place, which we were still both drinking every day. And I call it being good, but it really wasn't being good. I was still drinking and doing things. As I was working, I was doing a good job, and I was moving up ranks, and I was learning everything to the job. And I was drunk at my friend's house, and he was running around like jittery kind of. And I wanted what he had. I didn't know what it was, but I was like, man, he's doing something. And I asked him what it was, and we go in the other room, and he's got these couple lines laid out, and I tried it, and it's a powerful pill that they call Otter. And I tried it, and I just did a very little bit, and my eyes lit up, and I was where I wanted to be. It was a great feeling. So the next day I went back and I got some more. And at work, I'd go to work and I could Zoom. I was doing everything that I needed to be doing. I was going, achieving things and moving up. And I eventually made it up to the front of the line. I was operating the whole thing. They set me on my own shift, running second shift. They didn't even have a second shift crew. I was running at least 15 foot of tubing a day, good tubing. And I was doing really well, but I was still drinking it and doing these pills. And one day, it was a weekend, I was off. I was walking down through town. I didn't have a vehicle, but I was sick. I didn't know why I was sick. I've never been dope sick before that. And I went to my buddy's house and I told him what I was feeling. And he basically said, I can help you. I got a little bit of this dope. I will give you some if you shoot it. But then he said, I'm telling you, you don't want to do it. He said, it'll make you feel better, but you don't want to do it. And I was like, nah, I was always scared of needles. Scared to death. So I was like, no, and I left. And I went back and I was almost back home, and I was puking up stuff, and I just felt really bad, and I was like, all right, I'm going back. So I go back up here, and he does it or whatever, and I just stick my arm out and turn my head, and he did it, and I didn't hardly feel anything when he did it, so it wasn't that bad. But then about 10 seconds afterwards, I was in heaven. I wasn't sick anymore. I was right where I wanted to be. So I told myself I was never going to do it again. I was just doing it so I wasn't feeling like I was. A couple of days went by, I got my paycheck. I go back, and I keep doing it. So I buy some, he does it, and I just like I said, I stick my arm out, turn my head, and he would do it for me. And I didn't think it was that bad. So after a little while, it was okay. I was still working, getting through work a little bit, getting paid, and every time I would go up there, but I would have to buy him some too, and it was taking my money. So I got to learning how to do it, and after a while I figured it out, got my own supplies, and I didn't go there anymore. I'd get my own, and I'd go home, and I'd go lock myself in the bathroom or whatever, and I'd do it on my own. And it got to where I wanted it every day, and I would do things to get it, as I always did. And things really started going downhill. I lost my job. I was losing my apartment. It was tax time, so I had my money coming in. I was like, well, I'll quit doing this stuff. I'll get my taxes. I'll pay a month's up rent, and I'll get me another job and be able to save my apartment. Well, the tax check came in, and my girlfriend's at her mother's, so I take the check and I go to Louisville and I get a bunch of crack. And I smoke it up, and then I had a great time. Then the next morning I woke up talking about what am I going to do. And so I was like, well, I'll wait and I'll get another one. I'll still be able to do it, Needless to say, that check came in, I blew it. So it's coming to an end. Me and her's fighting all the time. She's crazy anyway. But we were fighting all the time, and She moved back to her mother's house, took her things with her. I was still staying in this house, doing everything I could do to get high. She knew I was getting high on something, but she didn't know exactly. She came down there one day, and my buddy had it laying on a book, and she was like saying, what is it, blah, blah, blah. And I wouldn't tell her. I told her it was a pill. And she believed me, and she was staying at her mom's still, taking things, you know, a little bit at a time. Apartment's empty. I'm here, me and my clothes. The landlord's going crazy, talking about I need to get out, and I'm not going nowhere.